So today we're making black bean burgers. They are great. That's how they look, how everything is already done before we fry them, before we cook them. But I'm going to explain you.
What's there?
I'm going to explain how to make it. So here, for 6 patties, for 6 burgers, you would use 2 cups cooked of black beans. So you can get black beans like raw and dry and put them in water throughout the night, or you can get a can. So, and drain and rinse the black beans from the can. So you would need 2 cups. Okay. Then we also have half a cup of vital wheat gluten that you can get in most stores. It's a type of a flour. We have half a cup of plain or whole wheat breadcrumbs. Whole wheat is a bit healthier, so whichever you have, whichever you want to use.
Or spelt for this matter, whatever breadcrumbs.
Yeah, whatever breadcrumbs you have at home. 1 teaspoon of chili powder, half a teaspoon of cumin, a 1/4 cup water, 1 tablespoon of tomato paste or ketchup if you don't have tomato paste at home, a 1/4 cup finely chopped cilantro, 2 cloves garlic that you would chop, half a small onion that you would chop, and that's it. You take everything, you mix everything into one thing, just all the ingredients I just said. You mash it, so you make sure all the spices, everything is mixed really well. Don't worry if the black beans are still big,
in
like
chunks,
you can see. Yeah, you can see here there's chunks. That's okay, that's tasty. You don't have to get it into a powder.
Into the paste, yeah.
Exactly.
You can see the parts of it.
You mash everything. And
how do you bake it? Could you bake or fry it? What
you actually can bake it. I tried to bake it one time, but it came out a little bit hard.
A little bit dry.
So it actually was like bean cookies, and it was not bad. It was not bad. I ate it with tea. My brother loved it. My family loved it, but it was more like cookies. Like you can eat it with bread, like we intend to do here when we fry it. But as a cookie, it's also really good. So yeah,
it's like a bean. Galette, you know, like they have a, you can put something on top of it probably, like
you could put
salsa.
Jam. No, it was
even jam.
Even jam. It was almost like a cookie. It was almost sweet. I loved it. I was like, wow. I wanted to fry them, and I expected it would be soft, like when I do when I fry it. But it was actually hard. But it wasn't bad. It tasted great. It was almost sweet, even though we didn't eat any sugar. It was amazing. I ate it with tea. Anyway.
We should work on this recipe. Maybe we'll create our black bean cookies.
Yeah, black bean cookies.
It's gonna be next segment. Black bean cookies by Lea.
Watch out for black bean cookies, part 2. Okay, so now when you're done, you preheat a heavy, like
skillet,
a pan or skillet over medium heat. You divide your mixture into 6 patties, whatever. So you take each patty at a time, like that. You make it into a ball first, then you press down on the patty. So
it's like a burger. Look like a burger.
And you just fry it. You put it on the oil and you cook it. If you want,
you can prepare a couple of them for our cook.
If you want, you use a spatula just to press it down so it gets the uniform like this. And you fry it for 5 minutes on each side. So 5 minutes here. Then after 5 minutes, you turn it. You cook for 5 more minutes, and that's it, ready. And you can eat.
You know, I think it would be more than 6.
They made 12 because we have so many. So they double the recipe, whatever you want. So
and what you serve it with salad? How would you serve it?
You would serve it with a fresh salad on the side and in whole wheat buns.
Very nice.
Amazing.
Thank you.
And yeah, that's it.
Okay. Bon appetit.
Okay. Bon appetit.
Welcome to our Women in Wellness Workshop 2. Mrs. Yelena Ostri is a very dear friend of mine, and is a holistic nutritionist. She's going to teach us a lovely recipe, which is chocolate truffles.
We start with the dessert. You know, I think it's a very wise thing. You know, people should, because when you usually finish the meal, you know, like too full to appreciate dessert, and you still eat it, and you shouldn't. Actually, I'm not telling you how to eat your meals. I have few idea what a good idea how to eat. You know, where your fruits should be. We'll discuss it too. But for now, for the sake of, we already have our bain-marie, the water bath, hot, melting our chocolate. Hannah started it. We'll need a spoon.
All the cutlery is actually in the drawer.
I'm using semi-sweet chocolate. or the dark chocolate, the more cocoa there, better it is, you know, from 16 up. You know, it's a great chocolate, great for you, antioxidants. But when you say chocolate is good for you, it never means that whole bar. No.
That's what I thought.
With, you know, the moderation. In our case, we have our, I don't think we'll be able to see it, but we have a chocolate chips melting in the water, in the bowl inside the water. And I want to tell you something, what I'm going to put in. And I'll describe it because this is a tremendous important. This is a flaxseed, ground flaxseed. What it's good for? Tremendously good for your bulk in your colon, in your system. It's great because it has omega-3s, and it's absolutely necessary for our body to have omega-3 and 6, and flaxseed has it. It lubricates our colon, it creates bulk in our colon, and if we would drink water, our colon stays hydrated, and it's a success for our health of our intestine. Those three things: lubricated, bulk, and hydrated. And we're trying to achieve it in our chocolate. See, I think this is a very successful tendency to take something which is good for you. It's something which you really want to have. There is a ground almond there. Do you want to put and incorporate my almond?
Yes.
Ground almond in it?
Yes.
I put it in, and you just... I'm trying to add a little bit more of chocolate, of cocoa, and I'm using cocoa powder.
You add cocoa powder
to same as with chocolate. For some reason, what it makes, it's actually seeded chocolate. It's become more of a... And I put it a little third of a cup. How are you doing here? Good. You know, it's not so easy. You stir it a little bit, and then it's actually complete unexpected twist. In these candies, we put bee pollen. Bee pollen is one of the superfoods you can add into your diet, because it has incredibly important things which are good for an immune system. It's something which is so precious to add in a small amount. It gives you tremendous energy, and as a student and working busy, you know, people, busy schedule, you really need something which helps with your B vitamins, but B pollen. Okay, but I did. Huh?
Does it have a taste?
Try it. It actually doesn't have any taste. It's just a crunchy little bit. You know, I would put like I think it's a good tablespoon. You can buy it in a health food store. You can buy it from the pastas. Again, if somebody has an allergy to honey, we should be careful. Smell it, or just, you know, it's very, people usually take it inside the honey.
That's it?
How's it going?
Good.
It's like the
Okay.
extract of
Smells amazing.
It's for the beans. And you know what I did? I added and you can add different dry fruits. And but where is the knife?
Yeah,
It's
there's
here.
knives
In there.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a good knife, guys. This is very important for cooking. You have to have your good balanced knife. And I cut it in small chunks. And if you eat this candy, you actually don't really feel the apricots. Dry apricots, fantastic source of iron. And a lot of us actually deficient in iron.
Right.
And it's very important. Yep. Iron is, you know, people usually, and I'm a little bit biased because I'm vegetarian for many years. And when people tell me that you have to get your iron or B12 from meat, I'm a little bit defensive, because there is places to get it. For example, buckwheat is very rich in iron. I think it would be enough.
What about iron pills?
It's very interesting with iron pills. If you would go to supplement road, I would suggest liquid iron instead of iron pills, because iron pills have tendency to make people very constipated, and constipation, it's such a bad thing. It's like enemy number one, because a lot of things connect. Well, we should have a class about constipation. And poop patrol. There is something very important. We should sit down and discuss how your poop look, how often do you see it. You know.
I've had these conversations with Lea. I don't know.
This is something, and there is such a thing as a picture. If you're ever in a food emporium, you can see the picture as describing different how your poop look, which describes where you stand in your health.
Dr. Oz and the doctor's show.
Yeah, Dr. Oz is great with this. Yeah, it's a very, very good idea. Okay, guys, we are pretty much. I think Lea is almost finished with. Oh, and I didn't tell it, but it's a very interesting thing. And I need Hannah-Lea's help. I need a drop, about tablespoon of olive oil.
Sure.
I added in this candy. There is olive oil, which is a source of omega-6, which is, we need to have both omega-3 and 6. They're both omega-3 and 6 responsible for inflammation and lack of inflammation in our body, for creation of enzymes, because we need fats to create a lot of hormones and enzymes. And they're both needed, omega-3 and 6 and 9, all this gamma we need. But because we have enough of 6 in different fats, this is why people usually stress omega-3, which we can get from our salmon, from fatty fish, which is another great thing. But if you're a vegetarian, you don't have it. Or from plants. When you're getting omega-3 from plants, not everybody can do conversion and make omega-3 absorbable. This is why, if you are not absorbing it, and you can find out through the test or just through the symptoms in your body, you can actually go about and take it from the source, like the pills, the capsules with omega-3. Yeah.
And there's people that take like a lot of supplements, including vitamins, this and that. And a lot of the time what they're taking, they take it all together, and what happens is one cancels out the other.
Yeah, it's very important. For example, your calcium and your iron can never be taken in 2 hours from each other.
Fiber also?
Because,
Fiber?
And it's very interesting, because calcium and iron actually compete with each other. They should be taken in 2 different times of the day, one in the morning and one at night. And fiber, which is very interesting, like we mentioned the flax, how great it is, or psyllium husk, how great it is. But if you take it together with your vitamins, you know what happens? This psyllium husk absorbs all the vitamins and takes them out and go into the poop and evacuates it from your body. This is a very good point you're making, because it's good to have your flax, it's good to have your psyllium husk, but not together with vitamins. This is why Jewish concept of Seder, of order, comes in mind. You have to one time sit down with me or with any other person who is aware of nutrition and supplementation and decide when I'm taking my, you don't have to take a lot of vitamins, but whatever you're taking, you want it to be absorbable and, stuck with you.
Multivitamins, like the total vitamins?
Usually when they're having multivitamins, they have a small amount of vitamins you need. They have to be from reputable companies, because they, unfortunately, if you take a lot of different vitamins and not necessarily best quality, you can find them in your kidneys as stones eventually. Or, for example, excessive calcium as phosphorus, you will come eventually in joints. They actually like crystals in the joints. It's a lot of, the best way is to eat healthy, to exercise, to produce your own B12, in your body, having healthy gut flora. We're just going to be talking about gut flora right after we finish. It's already our question and answers got into our demonstration, but great question. I think Lea finished with the thing. We'll get it out with the towel, and when it cools down a bit, we'll be able to form it. Look, guys, see, when it's cooled down,
When do you know to start forming the balls?
When you actually physically touch it, you know, it's not like burning.
Not too hot.
Not too hot. And you put your hands a little bit, you know what I did? In those guys, I didn't have this ingredient with me. I have cinnamon and coconut. And I roll it. Yeah, if you have a, do you have a coconut?
I do.
Shredded coconut?
Right here,
We can
actually.
roll it in a cinnamon. Cinnamon is great for you. It's great for your blood sugar.
Yeah?
Cinnamon, the best thing, they now have a pill with cinnamon. It balances your blood sugar and
Is
your...
there something
and your-
else? 'Cause cinnamon. Like,
You don't like your cinnamon?
Oh, I love.
You can hide it with a... How about your apple pie?
Oh, that I like.
With cinnamon,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, I like it.
See, you hide your cinnamon wherever, but cinnamon on your oatmeal in the morning will balance your... no?
But with
You-
apple
let-
pie, I'll
let
make
it-
a lot of apple pie.
Yeah, you can make...
I make this, but with what's it called? With cookies.
With
Cookies,
the-
cocoa, and milk, and then I put it in what's it called? It's fattening.
But tell me, isn't it if you can put flax and almonds,
Same thing, yeah.
you have...
It tastes like this when I make with
Yeah,
cookies.
it tastes, but
Tastes like that.
let's think what's there. We have protein from almonds. We have good healthy fat from flax. We have antioxidants from chocolate. We have a little boost for our immune system from bee pollen. What else did we put? We'll have a cinnamon to balance our blood sugar. And we have a coconut, which another, it has a protein and a fiber, coconut flakes, and we can roll it. And you can actually take it, you can keep it in the freezer. Try not to eat like whole thing of it. But taking 2-3 a day, having with you in your bag with you for snack somewhere when you need this boost of energy at the 3-4 o'clock when everybody going down, you know, instead of taking a cup of coffee with whatever donut. None of you probably does it ever. But you can take this and you feel good and it's little, you know, the boost. And another thing, you can put all of them, put it in a little box and it's a lovely, you know, present, whatever, you know. It makes sense to do it. We'll roll it and we'll put cinnamon and it's going to be the lovely meal. This is, guys, about our dessert. Now, second is it's a first course. It's my soup. Looks nice. More or less. I don't know if you like green soups. It's a very, very fast soup. I don't know how domesticated you are, guys, but this soup takes like less than 10 minutes to make. You have your onion. We won't be starting it, but it's as simple as that. You chop up onion, put it in a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of water, because I try not to fry olive oil. Because when we start frying our fat, we creating trans fats, which are bad trans fat. Not heating it, yeah.
You need a pot, right?
We can do it that. You can do it. We can start with a pot.
I
with a
heard
little bit
it's
of
cancerous to fry olive oil.
You know, it's a very interesting thing. When I was at school, I had a very good explanation from a very wise woman who was our teacher. She said we should always look at traditional people. Traditional people, it's a traditional kitchen. Like you look at the Chinese cuisine, Italian cuisine, this basic cuisine. You know, what's interesting, the olive oil, a lot of people use olive oil or any other, you know, sesame oil. It's not good oil.
Can I stir the soup a little bit now, Yelena?
Yeah, it would be great. When oils are used, right there starts heating up, we put in onion or garlic. And you know what onion and garlic do? It's actually stop oxidation of oil.
Oh, okay.
It stops oxidation of the creating the free radicals and trans fat in. By the way,
Wait,
have
so
you
it
noticed?
helps making the trans fat?
It's actually good. It prevents it from happening. Guys, pay attention how I cut my onion. Little technique, I'm proud of it. You do a little bit like this, and look at my fingers. They're all bunched up like this. I don't leave my thumb, and your nails become, because you know how many people cut, especially with a knife. I hold my, okay. We cook some nails, yeah? And our nails are soup guards like this, and we go
it hot?
It's not hot.
It's lukewarm, I would say.
Lukewarm? Okay.
Yeah. It was made,
Not so long ago.
yeah, very, very recently.
Yeah? Okay.
And our pot is cooking, yeah?
Pushing up.
Yeah, we can turn it on. A little bit of oil.
So I put the oil now.
Yeah, you can put oil now. And see, I didn't let it.
Canola oil?
I like olive oil. I'm really my cookies with extra virgin olive oil. I put extra virgin oil anywhere, and it doesn't. I don't find it affecting the taste. When it's hotter, it would be actually good even in the winter. And you can put it in your. Do you remember, guys, how we cut our garlic? Have you seen this technique? Smacking it, and then it gets out very easily out of this little jacket. Fresh garlic, it's absolutely great, better than.
Leah, can I have a soup?
Yeah, of course.
And you guys got soup?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I hear my onion nicely
Thank you.
toasting in the oil. And in every culture, they use this moment when oil is warm to put some spices, because spices get, the flavor of spices get into the... Okay, here we go.
So what do you say about garlic? It's a mutton soup garlic, right?
Everywhere it's an onion and garlic. In French cuisine, you have your carrot, celery, and onion. It's the three basic things when you start with your soup. Italian have the same, plus garlic. Everything starts with onion, garlic, and And I put oregano, for example. I love sage in my. And you put like your teaspoon
Sage
or
is
so.
so healthy for you, right?
It starts cooking.
Sage is healthy, right?
Sage is very, every like sage, thyme, all of this. It's a great thing. They're really good for you, and they're appetizing. You can have a very low calorie
I heard it's like a natural.
dish, which is very little protein, very little, no meat, no fat, but it's still great. It's great taste because of the spices. And we can put a little bit of turmeric. I didn't bring it with me, but this soup have a turmeric. Turmeric, guys, it's another great spice. They call it
very healthy. Turmeric is very good. I've heard for cancer.
cancer, Alzheimer.
And there's not.
They say in
exercise also. Very
really?
Exercise prevents Alzheimer's, aging, a lot of problems. Again, just the blood pressure.
Blood, oxygen in your, and your. And this is a frozen peas, bag of frozen peas. We just put it in boiling water.
Is fresh better? I did fresh pea better.
If you're such a good girl and you can clean the peas, fresh peas, it would be wonderful. But if you're on a run, if you want to make it, this is pour our water.
Does it get almost the same amount of nutrients?
It's very interesting. It will get the same nutrients, but food has the energy attached to it. And frozen lack on this live energy. If we have to gradation from canned to fresh from your own garden, fresh from your own garden the best.
Yeah.
Because you know what you put in, you know what's around it, you just pick it in the morning. Canned, it's the worst.
It's not.
Okay, next to it, canned from health food store, which doesn't have bad thing in the lining, of the can, which has, no preservative.
Frozen is better than canned?
Frozen is better than canned. As good as fresh, something which was dried. It's actually surprising, but things, especially legumes, when they dry, they just go to sleep. And when you soak them, you kind of wake up energy, and it become alive, because you can put the seed and it will start growing.
You can put the dehydrated peas.
What you can do, you can be wise girl, when you go to bed, put your peas into water, soak them, in the morning put it in a pot, bring it to the hard boil, strong boiling, and then turn it off and let it cook like for 40 minutes, an hour, and it's going to be great pea soup.
Wow.
Like a good winter pea soup, and you can make your lovely croutons and serve it, and you put your onion, because when this soup is ready, when you put water, you take a hand blender, this thing, and you just zap it, and here is your soup, and you put good salt. One of the very important things which is very easy to change if you're changing your lifestyle, what I change, you start drinking water in the morning, 20 minutes before your meals, and at night hydrate yourself. You get your 6-8 cups of healthy, hopefully good water, and you use good salt, sea salt, Himalayan salt, this kosher salt.
What's the difference with kosher salt and your kosher salt?
Kosher salt, it's different from regular salt because it's just bigger chunks, bigger crystals, and they absorb things. Because for koshering, for example, salt used to draw the blood from this meat, and to draw impurity, and bigger the surface, better it's done. Regular salt is not such a good thing because a lot of addition, in order to not to clump up, they actually put talc.
Oh.
It's a lot of things. Salt, it's a very good investment because you don't eat a lot. You shouldn't eat a lot of salt, but if you use good salt, good sea salt, good Celtic salt, it's like from Britain.
Does that have to have a steel wire on it?
I don't think salt has to have a hechsher.
Better
A lot of it has.
Yeah.
A lot of it has because it's just done. But I know Himalayan salt has a hechsher. It's like a pinky salt, and I know the Celtic salt has a hechsher.
What about iodine?
It's a whole history. If you look at how iodized things came into being, the idea that we shouldn't play with it. We don't need extra. You're all science. You know your science. The iodine, it's a very strong, very active element.
Yeah.
And we have enough of very strong elements in our system. Free radicals will push out electrons from outer system, and we have chain reaction in our body, and we're trying to calm down this free radical in our body with the fruits and vegetables, with whatever. We don't need it. We have enough of iodine and fluoride in water. It's actually not a good idea. Salt is important. Okay, this is our pea soup. I think it comes to boil. We'll zap it with hand blender, and we're done.
We're done. Dinner's done.
Okay, we had dessert and we have a first course. Let's talk about what I thought for our main course.
Let me know what I can get for you.
Yeah, I got rice. I made brown sushi rice.
Wow.
And I dress it. Our rice has to be dressed. Sushi rice always a little bit sweet and sour. I dressed it with apple cider vinegar and a little bit of honey and water. And what it's going to be made into, because our topic was food on a run, I suggested how can you take this rice and run with it.
Well, tell me if I can get you something.
For now I'm okay. I would like to call for your history knowledge. Do you know about samurais? Japanese samurais?
Oh, yeah.
They're warriors. They were like a nobility. They have a code of samurai. They travel the Japan. They were powerful. Question is, what were they eating? One of the things samurais ate, it was rice balls like this. I make the rice ball, make a little hole, and I take umabushi plum. Guys, do you know what umabushi plum is?
No idea.
It's a Japanese plum. It looks like a regular plum, but it was put in salt and miso and fermented. And we put it inside. we roll it into the bowl. I have a little bit of toasted sesame seeds. I don't know if some rice is going with the sesame seeds. I'm not so sure, but they might. And we roll it. And we have a snack.
Wow.
And we can put our piece of our nori. And we can take it with us on the room. Okay, do you want to try?
Sure.
Okay. This you can make a tiny ones. You can make a tiny ones with a little umabushi plum.
Is it the
Umabushi? Umabushi.
plum? What
It's
does it
kosher.
contain? Yeah.
It's kosher. It has a salt and miso.
What does it?
What does it do? It's another big part of our health to include in our diet. Fermented things. What is the fermented things? Okay, guys. Look like a baby in a blanket. Okay. Do you want to roll it and offer it to the guys?
Sure.
You know? My idea was that you can take, rinse your hand, that you can take this with you. Okay, Natalie, try. No, it's okay. You will, by the time it's done, each of you will have. What I was suggesting, for example, that you can have your little vegetables with you and a little bit of rice in your little container.
Okay, so what do I do? I take a
You can take a portion. You can take a nice little portion, roll it, make a hole in order to get our umabushi, and take a little bit umabushi because it's a very salty.
Oh, it's a salty.
It's a very salty,
Maybe
sour
they
salty.
can
Yeah.
make their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make your own.
It's going to be a little bit, and the nori provide us with a lot of sea vegetables, provide us with a lot of minerals.
This is great with these little bowls you got.
Yeah. Okay. And by the way, guys, nori is a great snack to have. Okay, take another guy. Here we go.
I want another one.
It's so good.
Maybe a small one.
Yeah, wash your hands, guys.
I really like it.
It's okay, pass by. It's okay. It's a very much alive.
I have to be honest, when you were making it, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like that. Yeah, me too. But then like it really crossed my mind. I was like, I came closer when you...
But it's not.
It's excellent. It tastes so good.
But very easy, right? It is seaweed.
I know it's seaweed, but it's not regular seaweed. It has like a lemony taste.
Not really. Lemony taste, it's from rice you get. Because it was a... See, I managed to put apple cider, which is another fermented thing. Do you still can see me?
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, guys. Or you can make your hand. Come. You can make your little hand roll. See, you use your put your rice, your onion. Okay, my lovely assistant.
Yeah.
Okay, here is a little cigar. It's a little cigar for my Lea girl.
Thank you.
And the cucumber. And you have a little bit more water.
Instead of gamuta?
Oh yeah, let's put it up like this. It's going to be your soup. It's a hand roll, guys. You take your nori, you take a little bit of rice, scallion.
That looks very good. More than this?
Try. And by the way, way, if you have tamari sauce, not soy sauce, but tamari sauce, nice fermented things. Yep. Yep. You can make it like this, and like this, and like that. Thank you. It's a hand roll. It's what,
Like sushi.
it's like sushi, but see, and you can do it, guys,
That's incredible.
in the privacy of your own car. Yeah, go ahead. In your own car, sitting somewhere in cafeteria in university, you take it like this. You put it and you put your nori. Just make sure that your nori are dry, because they get soggy very fast and become very, very rubbery. And very good. Omabushi plum, it's a very good thing. Or you can mix your own wasabi and just use wasabi. But I would like to make sure that in every meal you have, you can do like this.
Oh yeah. I'm going to take one of the other.
Make sure that during the day you do have some fermented foods. It could be kefir. I will talk about kefir.
Yeah, I'm going to take this to him. Thank you more.
I'm very proud of it for me.
Okay guys, how do you like it? What did we make today?
Brown rice
We have brown rice.
with flax.
We had flax. We had chocolate.
What do you call it? This is flax, right?
No, it's actually toasted sesame
Oh,
seeds.
okay. My bad.
Toasted sesame seeds. I brought something else, guys, to show to you. And I think when you're making your soups, if you add in any soup this, it's a combo seaweed. It's a white seaweed. They sell it in health food store. They're full of minerals. Like as a seaweed, they have a lot of minerals which we're lacking from our produce, because our soil is lacking minerals, but seawater still has a lot of them. This is why it's so good to have a seaweeds in your diet. And this is a great snack to have. Just to chew it, just throw it in your bag.
Thank you.
And a small dry one, just take them anywhere, it's so salty.
And they're delicious, and it's tremendously good for you. But another thing, sometimes when you eat beans, people experience a problem eating beans. This seaweed, when you cook your beans, it helps to break down this enzyme which make you gassy. Between giving tremendous amount of minerals into the broth, it helps you to cook your beans.
So,
Those guys.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For the rice, how much do you cook it with the cider vinegar?
First I cook the way description of the rice, and it's usually, because it's brown rice, it has a still husk on it. It takes 1 part of rice and 2 parts of water. And what I do, guys, it's actually very interesting. It's a good idea. Let me just serve you vegetables closer here. Help yourself, guys. I use brown rice to soak it. First I wash it thoroughly. I've actually brought it with me. I wash it, put it in water, and I massage it quite thoroughly. Then I rinse this water, and then I put it. If you leave any grains to soak in water a little bit, it becomes much more digestible. It's quinoa,
And it's easier to cook.
and it's much faster to cook. You bring it to boil.
Quinoa needs to be soaked?
I never knew it, but if you soak it for 2 hours, it takes much faster cooking, and it's much more digestible. And coming back about digestible things, guys, take a look. What's this? Do you think what this is?
Almonds.
Why they're in a jar? Because about 4 hours ago, exactly, I poured some water, and I rinsed them. You wake up the energy of this. When it's dry, it's actually sometimes not as digestible. When it's soaked, it's very. Some people peel it. It's actually very easy to peel it. You lose the fiber. Some people feel, easier, or because it's so easy, and skin become kind of chewy. Some people don't enjoy it. This is why I feel it.
They have like stuff in the teeth, you know, they don't want to be a bear.
Yeah, or whatever. You know, but it's actually a lovely thing. Okay, we did chocolates, we did soup, we did our sushi or our umabushi rice balls, you know, the samurai treat. When you go to health food store, one of the most expensive things you have, this little plants. You have your seed, germinated broccoli or garlic, like this little alfalfa sprout, all the sprouts. Why they're so expensive? Because moment it starts growing, it has so much more, 100 times more nutrients, seed which was awakened, than the one which is dormant. You know, when you buy your Ezekiel bread, the bread which made from plant which with the wheat which was already awakened, sprouted,
Which is shackle.
which is stop being mesonas. It's not. It's already plant. You know, it starts growing, and all the benefits of this alive plant you just get, plus nutrients. You know, and they say when you look at the vitamin content, B12, you can, for a B12 you can eat steak or you can eat those you know, sprouted things.
Wow.
You know, and produce your own B12 with, you know, there is so much wisdom. First of all, it's cheaper from ecological point of view to grow up a cow and to start on your little windowsill a little bit waking up this. And actually they don't need light to be waking up. It can be just in a jar lying down, you know. I think we should do the sprouting thing separate and try different sprouts, because when sprouts, you taste the sprout, broccoli tastes like broccoli, little sprout. Wow. The garlic tastes like garlic.
Wow.
Just little things. It's very, very cool.
Wow.
Okay, thank you very much for your attention.
You.
Any more questions?